Here we have verse 27 of the 6th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus has just been found by the crowds that had presumably enjoyed the feast that he'd provided for them the previous day in the miracle we commonly call the feeding of the 5,000. And as we at least detect the sense of the statements here, it appears they're coming back for more. They're hoping for another feast on the subsequent day. And Jesus is meeting that by pointing out to them that they are really just laboring for the external benefits that Christ might provide to them, but they're failing to see the sign, the real meaning of what he's doing. And so based on that, he proceeds with the instruction we find here, ergazista. This is from ergazomai. It means to labor, to work. It's a deponent verb, so it's giving a command here, second person plural, present active imperative. So labor, may, the negation used in non-indicative mood. So labor not, tain brosen. Brosen is the word for meat, often generalized to mean food. The accusative article here, because this is the direct object of the verb. So do not labor for the meat. And then in apposition to it, the participle here, the perishing meat. In other words, this is apolumenein. This is from apoluo. The active verb means to destroy. This is the middle or passive form of it in the present participle. And so don't labor for the meat that will be destroyed or that will be perishing. The meat that is only going to temporarily satisfy you. Frankly, the meat that Jesus had provided to them the previous day in multiplying the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, because here they are the next day still hungry. Certainly it was a stupendous miracle, and yet the point of the miracle was to point to something vastly more important, which is what Jesus gets at next. So Allah, the strong conjunction, Allah, tain brosen, same as here, the meat. Tain, again we have the participle in the same arrangement. Menusan, the meat, the remaining meat. So this again is an accusative participle which goes along with brosen. So it's the meat, the remaining, from meno, I remain. Ace, preposition, takes the accusative. Tain ionion, the into eternity or into life eternal. So the meat that Jesus is actually offering to them, instead of being meat that will leave them hungry at a later time, is meat that is going to remain, abide in them, into eternal life. And where do they get this meat? Well, the relative pronoun, hein, it's the meat it's agreeing with, so the meat which, ho huios tu anthropu, which the Son, ho huios tu anthropu, of man, which the Son of Man, who men, second person pronoun, dative, plural, dose, this is from didomi, or didomi, it's the future, will give, so which the Son of Man will give to you. Many times the use of the word Son of Man is intended to point to the Son of Man character in the book of Daniel chapter 7, and I think it's always at least to some degree present, but sometimes it simply is a way of emphasizing the humanity of Christ, and that may be more in focus here, because of course it's the humanity of Christ which gives rise to the possibility of, as he's going to put it later, eating his flesh and drinking his blood. And so in a sense, when he says the Son of Man is going to give you this, in some ways he's highlighting the fact that it's his humanity, his broken body and shed blood, that become the source of this great benefit. Then he continues, gar, postpositive, for two-tone. This is the demonstrative pronoun, accusative masculine, singular, for this one, ho pater, the Father. The Father, esphragisin, from sphragizo, which means to stamp or to seal, especially to mark something in a kind of official capacity as the possession of another. And in this case, hotheos, God, has sealed this one, referring to Christ or the Son of Man, has put his stamp of approval on him, and it is on that basis that the Son of Man is therefore able to provide this food, which is going to remain in a person for eternity. And so, of course, the whole idea is leading much more directly directly now into the bread of life discourse that Jesus is going to continue to provide to them. And this is kind of the opening statement that creates the context for that discussion that Jesus will provide.